Question number 18. A company wants to ensure high availability for its critical application. The application is hosted on EC2 instances in a single AWS region. What should the solution architect recommend? Our first option is to use elastic load balancing across multiple regions. AWS regions occupy a city-sized area in the world, a large cluster of data centers in a metropolitan area. Most workloads that you build will fit very well in one AWS region, usually the one that's closest to the customers that need that workload. So our first answer suggests using multiple regions. We are calling for high availability and that it is a critical application, so perhaps multiple regions are justified. But it does say use elastic load balancing across multiple regions. And if you've used ELB, you know that that is a capability for load balancing across multiple instances in the same region. If I want to actually load balance across multiple regions, using the DNS service called Route 53 is my primary tool to support that use case. So we're not going to use elastic load balancing across multiple regions. A second option is to deploy instances in multiple availability zones within the region. Now that's a marvelous idea. Within any one AWS region, let's consider for example the one in Tel Aviv, that region contains 3 availability zones, 3 clusters of data centers, each of which acts together like it's one big data center. Those availability zones are designed to be many kilometers apart from each other and are designed to use non-overlapping IT resources. They don't rely on the same power grid, they don't rely on the same networking gear, they don't rely on anything that could possibly fail in multiple AZs at the same time. This is deliberate, so that if an availability zone fails or a service experiences degradation in one availability zone, the other AZs won't be experiencing that same problem. Deploying the EC2 instances of this application needs to multiple availability zones is a great idea. This will help improve the availability of that application by ensuring that if EC2 encounters a problem in one availability zone, it's still working just fine in the other AZs of that same AWS region. So that's very likely to be what we're looking for. But let's look at our other answers too. Should we increase the size of our EC2 instances for better performance? Better performance is good, but that's not the goal of this particular scenario. Our goal is to ensure high availability. Larger EC2 instances are as vulnerable to failure as smaller EC2 instances. So that's not it. How about implementing AWS Lambda for serverless architecture? Lambda is a wonderful service for supporting event-driven applications with code that can run for a small number of milliseconds and then stop and charges just for the time that that code was running. But this application is running on EC2. If our only goal is to ensure high availability, re-architecting that application onto Lambda sounds like massive overkill. Lambda does indeed have high availability, but we weren't asked to re-architect the application here. So in general, as much fun as Lambda is, I don't think that's our solution either. The right answer is to deploy our instances across multiple availability zones within our AWS region.